You lost a close friend. I mean, a close friend of yours tragically took his own life during the anesthesia specialist training. Let's talk about that. How did that? I mean, what happened, and how has that affected you?
Yeah, I'll just give you the overall perspective. So yeah, so basically, as you know, what anesthesia is one of the most stressful specialties in the world, or the exams as well. So suicide rate is very much kept under key in Australia around this. But yeah, but there have been cases yeah, all around Australia, but this happened to a friend of mine. So what happened was, so obviously the mental stresses of going through the exams is one thing, and then failing for two attempts and being kicked out of the official training program is another thing. So once he failed the exam for the second time, and obviously was told that he had to exit the program and can't be a registrar anymore, then he resorted to, obviously, the easiest way to kill herself was because we got access to all our drugs, and obviously it was a shock to us, to everyone as well. But I felt that the college has not done much um, to overcome this issue. I don't know how things are now, so obviously I've left Australia a while ago, um, but that took a toll on me because, like, you worked around this colleague on a day-to-day basis. You do everything together as well. You study for the exams together, and seeing like your close friend break down or go through that moment all because of an exam, it was very, very difficult for a lot of us per se. Because then you put into perspective of you going through it yourself, and what happens when, because the odds are very much not in your favor. Um, what happens once you hit that two failed attempts, and then you go through that whole mental stress of knowing that you can't continue with anesthesia, and this has been your only pathway in medicine after housemanship.
I mean, were there any signs that this could have happened?
To be honest, a lot of those cases, I won't go in depth, were very, you don't see it coming, because it normally happens once you fail the second time. And there were signs where you see them again, they come to hospital, they're not themselves and everything, and you try your best to be there for them, etc. But when it happens, I mean, we've had, a consultant commit suicide, as what I've heard as well, in Australia, in anesthesia as well. So these are not just trainees undergoing exams, but the stresses of anesthesia as a whole specialty, consultants have even committed suicide as well. So that whole high strung environment in anesthesia, where on a day-to-day basis you got difficult cases, you got your trainees, your colleagues, etc. So the whole environment doesn't play a positive impact on the mental fortitude of a lot of people, and some people are not mentally strong enough to overcome that.
Yeah, I think that's the big elephant in the room, physician suicide, because I saw a stats on the American College of Emergency Physician. These are stats in the US. About 300 to 400 physicians die by suicide. And I couldn't find stats anywhere else. But there are many, many stories of this. Like in Malaysia, recently, at the time of this recording, there was a pathologist who died by suicide.
Yeah.
This recently, August 2024. And then prior to that, we've got two other housemen or trainee doctors who have taken their own lives. I mean, it happens, it seems to be happening around the world. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think they are isolated cases, or is there more that's something that we are missing out on?
I think, I mean, coming from my perspective, I mean, in anesthesia per se, I can't speak much about Malaysia, but I think overall the stresses, I mean, I can speak about the profession per se, the stresses of being a doctor, the stresses put on us from, our families, because, obviously we come from the Asian background. There's only medicine, or, lawyer, engineer, etc. So that's one aspect. And then once you enter the profession, you're seeing all your different colleagues specialize or enter different clinical pathways per se. So there are ongoing stresses even from medical school, and this is all pent up and built all towards the training. And especially, I see what you guys have gone through in Malaysia as well. My friends are all doctors here. I see what they go through on a day-to-day basis when they speak to me. So I think it's kept under the rug because it's easy to just say, now he's stressed with work, etc. But there's more to that on what this person is going through as well. And a lot of times, the college or the hospital per se does not take enough initiative to voice out and speak to these people to actually see what they're going through, and how they can overcome it. Because as you know, mental health is a growing thing all around the world, as you just mentioned, and let alone our profession as a doctor, is even more stressful. So I think not much has been done to help doctors who go through mental stresses or to go through depression, to help them in any way possible.
Yeah, I actually do agree. Like, I do that. I actually also lost a colleague. He took his own life as well. There wasn't much awareness about it after that. I mean, he had a posting in anesthesia, so he knew what to do. He was going through some rough patch, and no one saw it coming, and it just happened. I mean, he booked himself into a hotel, and he took his life, and colleagues from the hospital had to go and identify him. So that was it's a really really sad situation. Thinking about it, like how alone we all may
Yeah.
have felt, and there was no outlet for this and nowhere to share. And physician suicide is such a hush hush. Like I said, the only stats that were available were in the US.